everyone, and welcome to the Mind and Muse Crafts podcast. I am your host, Caroline, and not Wednesday. Although today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday.
Wednesday's child
October.
full of woe. No, today's November
Wednesday,
1st.
November 1st.
But it's okay because every day is Dia de los Muertos.
Right. We wanted to do this for Halloween, but I left us at a point where I was about to, well, not about to, but I was close to having a major surgery. So I never came back. Has it been more than a month?
I think so. Your last video was way before the surgery. I
don't know.
September 4th, according to the internet.
September 4th. So it's been a month and a half, almost 2 months. No, today's November the 1st. Almost 2 months. And I really wanted to just come back and kind of like give you an update on my health situation, specifically because I know that more than just being viewers that come on the channel to watch and catch up on what I do in my crafty part of my life, a lot of you are just my friends, my virtual friends, but still friends. And I felt that maybe, I could share without oversharing, because Latins tend to overshare these types of things. But anyway, and so I've been meaning to come back and do both things, give you an update and a little bit about what I've been up to. And so here I am today. Thank you for pressing the watch button again after so much time, for joining me. And if by any chance it is the first time you found this channel, then this is not what normally happens here. But, it's a crazy channel where you never know what to expect. So thank you for pressing the watch button too if you're new. Oops. That'll happen every once in a while because, as we stated before, I am in recovery for a major surgery. So do we do the crochet stuff first or the medical stuff? I believe that most of you that are coming back are interested in my health. So I'll just talk about that first and get it out of the way.
Sure.
So on October 20th, I had a total hysterectomy because I had a large mass growing in my left ovary that we just discovered by accident when I came back from Alabama in August. At the end of August, I went in for a checkup and did a routine test, and one of the indicators said that there might be something wrong with my ovaries. And so it all began, this long process of getting all of these tests done and worrying daily about what the outcome was going to be, since, before they go in, nobody can tell you what's going to happen. And there was a chance that it could be, there still is a chance that it could be a malignant mass. We have a lot of hopes that it is not, but because of the size and the internal structure and content, I had to go to San Juan. I could not do it in the western area on the island, and I had to get a very specialized doctor. So we were away from home for almost a week. Came back 2 weeks ago?
It's not 2 weeks yet. It's been like a week and a half. Because we got to San Juan on the 18th of October.
Right, the girls came in on the 18th
so
because
2 weeks
both of my daughters wanted to be there. But the surgery was on the 20th.
Which was a Friday.
20. So this Friday it'll be 2 weeks. And they get you up and about quickly. I've got it's like having a cesarean. So I've got a scar running up my abdomen completely. And that hurts a lot.
That's an understatement.
That hurts. Everything inside hurts. But little by little, you get better. Yesterday I didn't feel up to doing this video. Today I feel a little bit better, and I have faith that that's the way it's going to be on a daily basis. So maybe by the end of this week, at the beginning of the next, I will have the final results from the pathologist back, and they will be able to tell me if this is malignant, if I will have to move on to chemotherapy or not, and we will face that when it comes. For now, we're trying to get better with the help of Clarissa. My eldest daughter already left, but Clarissa has stayed on to do all the heavy lifting and kind of like be my companion in addition to my housemate and housekeeper and cook and whatever else. But yeah, so I am better. I might still look a little dead, but that was fine because it went for the look that I wanted to have on this occasion, which was to show you my Wednesday Addams vest. Now I had planned this earlier during the year, but before I knew that I was going to have this surgery. But
I think you planned.
So if I didn't mention it, we did do the trip to Iceland. We did not see the Aurora Borealis. It didn't happen. It's just something that sometimes occurs and sometimes doesn't. And we were, the day before we went out, it happened. We went out 3 times to try and see it. Didn't happen. So, but that just leaves you the possibility of returning at some other moment and trying to catch it again. It still was a nice holiday, even though there was still all this background fear and our minds were occupied with the idea of having to come back to face my surgery and the unknown. But we still tried to make it as nice a time as possible. And I can include some shorts here so you can share a little bit of the Blue Lagoon, which was one of the things that was very new to us. We'd never done that before. Very expensive also. If you've never been to Iceland, it's very pretty, but very, very, very expensive. Now, I always consider expensive to be on a personal basis. What you might consider expensive is not what I consider expensive. And so there are not a lot of things that I consider expensive. So this I considered very expensive. But we did do some things that were out of our normal budget, but that we figured we would never do them again. And so we had a good time. So we did do that in between discovering that I needed surgery and having surgery. Also in between, before discovering I needed surgery, like I said, I decided that I wanted to do the Wednesday vest. And there were so many online. And they're not always, you don't always have to pay for them. There are a lot of ones that are free, and there are some that are paid for. And so I used one that was, here we go. I don't have my glasses on because I was trying to do the Wednesday look. But there's a button somewhere that turns this on. And I have the page already open, so. No, I was right the first time. So can you read what site this was found on?
This is Lisa, A-U-C-H, Crochet. And it's free crochet designs by Lisauk, sharing cute vintage and modern crochet patterns. Okay. And this is the Wednesday Addams crochet sweater vest.
Let me just show you like I would normally do. Okay. And she includes information about the original designer.
Yeah, she does.
And she says that we should mention him. The both of them, the designer and the crocheter. So you can go, I'll put in the information in the description box so that you can go there and read it if you want to. She's got graphs. You have to make it, she has notes on what she did, but the majority of the actual building of the front and back is based on a chart. Well, graphs, it's not even a chart. Graphs. And so, yeah, that's the way I did it. They're downloadable. I just took a
I
picture of
think
them.
Yarnspirations also has like a pattern that's free on their website. You can find a lot of YouTube videos.
So
as
Inspiration, the difference, I started with that one. But the difference was that it had...
The squares were bigger?
The squares were bigger and less of them. And then I found this one, and I kind of liked better that the squares were smaller, and it had, as you'll see, and we didn't do a video this time, but there are some photo shoots. Well, you'll see that there are, let me see if I can I show this maybe here?
We can take videos after.
What's this one? You can see that there are these blocks of black.
Yeah.
That is not in the Your Inspirations.
No.
It's just a checkered one. I guess there was a lot of, people were trying to avoid that other people would accuse them of copyright infringement. So there's the name of the actual designer. And then she also includes the Instagram connection. And she also includes information on the
and also you can tell
designer of the crochet, because he didn't design the crochet. He designed the idea, and there was somebody who crocheted it up.
That I didn't even know that was a job, but I think that was very ignorant of me to not know that when you see crochet in movies, they've hired someone to crochet this up, and usually also someone to design.
The designer's not going to do it.
No.
Even with clothes, even with sewing, the designer doesn't sew.
Well, yeah, but usually you have like a wardrobe team, and they take care of putting it all together. But in terms of the crochet, they usually hire someone to just do it for them.
So there are links throughout this document to Instagram pages and information, like I said, on the designer and the 2 charts that she provides. I can't see them. The link, so maybe if you find it, you'll just click it so I can show it. And so those were the 2 charts that I use, where every block, I defined it as being 10 stitches and 10 row little block. So here I have 100 stitches across, which means 10 blocks on the back and on the front. Now on the front, what happened was that after I finished the back, I said, no, it was supposed to be hip length, but I think it's going to be too thin. When I connect the 2 sides together, it'll be too tight at the hips. So when I went to the front, I made the corner block 12 stitches instead of 10. Well, the only thing that happened is when I joined it together, the seam is not right in the middle. But since it's wide, I don't think you can really tell.
No, and it's done in the same black.
So okay, so this was the front. There you go. And so, each one of these blocks, I did it as 10 by 10. I don't remember what she did it by. And yeah, I just followed. I was always starting over here on my front side. So I always started at this side of the graph. I wasn't going back and forth. So I was always on this side. And so when I did a white, then I would do a black. And then you would kind of like change your colors according to the chart. And they have another graph for the back. I took this project with me to Iceland, but I didn't want to take bobbins. I find that the best way that I do this type of color work is by using bobbins, where you drop your thread, pick up the next color, and then when you come back, everything is in the right place. But I was going to go on a plane for 5 hours in one direction, 9 hours in the other, figured I'd have a lot of time to crochet, and then I didn't want to deal with bobbins falling all over the place. So I began doing it by working over my yarn, and I always forget which one is tapestry and which one is color work and which one is whatever. So I just say working over my yarn, and that uses more yarn, obviously, but I just can't get the technique correct, and so some of my threads were showing through that I didn't like. So then I started creating floats. And I like the idea of creating floats, but you use more yarn because you're carrying both yarns to the end and both yarns back, even though there are sections where you would only need one yarn. Okay, so when I got back home, then I decided, oh, I'm going to be short on yarn. So let's start working with bobbins because I'm at home. And that's the way I finished up the back and I did the whole front. But guess what? I still didn't have enough yarn. I had tons of white yarn. Now I'm thinking that I started out with 3
White
skeins of white and 3 of black.
And what yarn were you using?
I was using Coboo. And
Which is a cotton.
I already had the white and 1 black in my stash. Already had the white in my stash. So I bought 3 more. I think that I could have done it completely because even though I had that, I realized at some point that there was a lot more black being used because of these black sections, and I added a ribbon to the bottom, which the original one doesn't have, but because I started out with the yarn inspirations pattern, they do include ribbons, so I did a ribbon to begin with. I would have had more yarn if I hadn't done the bottom ribbon, and so I used yarn art in charcoal to do the bottom ribbing. And that saved a little bit. And they gave me just enough of the Coboo to finish up all the front and the back without the seaming and without the edgings on the armholes and the neckline. So I think I also had to make the front shorter than the back, right? Yeah. Because I wasn't going to have enough yarn. Or because I wanted to finish for Halloween, and if I did the whole completely would. But I think it looks good that way. I like it that way, so it's fine. I'll probably use this again for Thanksgiving since I wasn't able to use it here for Halloween. But I won't wear the wig. I'll leave the wig for next year. So, have I said everything about it? I used a 4mm hook, tulip, which is my favorite hook. I used a 4mm hook. The seams I seamed together with a 3.5. And the edgings on the armhole and the neckline, I used a 3mm hook. On the armhole, I did single crochet once and then crab stitch the second time. In the crab stitch, I did every other stitch because I wanted to pull it in. It was a little bit big at the back. I guess maybe my tension changed.
Yeah, I know that my tension changes when I work color work. It's usually a lot tighter than when I'm doing normal crochet. So,
but I also think my tension changed from the bottom to the top.
Oh yeah.
And that happens to me frequently. That within a project, my tension will change. So I wasn't able to do it yesterday, but today I became Wednesday Adam just to, remember old times together. And so we will include some photos here so that you can appreciate the photographic qualities of my favorite photographer, and also so you can appreciate the vest.
Not only are you wearing a vest, but you're also wearing a collar, a crochet collar that was also inspired by Wednesday Adams, the last outfit she wears, like in episode 8.
Yes, this was the first Wednesday Adams project that I began soon after I saw the series, and I'll tell you that I've seen the series like 10 times. Just recently we saw it again when my older daughter was here. So the 3 C's got together and we saw the Wednesday series again. I don't know. I find it fun. I like the dark elements, though I'm not the type of person that really likes thrillers and things that are scary. But I could kind of separate, in this case, the fantasy from the reality. And
I think we're used to it, right? Also, you expect the Addams family to always have a element of the macabre and the, you know, just kind of freaky, I guess. So, you know, you kind of expect it with an Addams family film. So, I don't know, it's easier to separate.
I did look into some of the history, and they said initially in the 1960s, it was just a very weird family. They weren't meant to have any special powers or things like that. But anyway, it's something that reminds me of my youth. Something that reminds me of when my children were growing, because Addams Family movies were coming out then. And though like I say, there are some things that I can't say I liked the Addams Family Part 2, which was mostly about Uncle Fester. But I did like Uncle Fester and his participation in the series.
Yeah, Uncle Fester in the Wednesday series was fun.
And he was cool.
The Addams Family, the second movie's Addams Family Values. And the reason I like it is because I like Wednesday's hostile takeover in the camp, about her true explanation of what happened in Thanksgiving. I love that part.
Yeah, and she's always like that. She has a part like that in the series too, where she goes into all the pilgrim thing, and so yeah, that kind of recount of history, and how it's sometimes not portrayed to us as it should be. But I know there can be a lot of difference of opinions there, and I am not into bringing differences of opinion to this show today. So I'll just keep it at what I like, and you can agree or disagree. So this collar, going back to the collar, in the movie, she does not wear it with this vest, does she?
No.
No, at the end she has a black coat.
Yeah, but she does wear it with a white shirt, and the collar does appear to be sewn into the white shirt, so it's like a long sleeve white shirt like you're wearing, and the collar...
My hair's falling out.
The wig, stop pulling it.
But I started out with the idea I wanted to make the collar, and so I just basically found a stitch in a stitch dictionary, and I found a section in the stitch dictionary that talked about how to increase your stitch pattern so that you get a curve. And I just followed that for this stitch that I liked. But that was so long ago that when I went back to it, I could not find that stitch anywhere. I don't know. I couldn't find the stitch and the description of how to do increasing in the same book. So I tried to recreate it. This one, if I wanted to wear it alone, is too big for my neck. It only fits over another collar.
But I think that's a cool idea.
But I made it in the bamboo cotton linen yarn that's from Job. Linen yarn that's from Drops, that I have mentioned a lot because I've done several things with it. I bought a lot of it when I bought it. And so it's itchy. It's itchy. I redid it with Aunt Lydia's in a different way, trying to look more like the Wednesday collar, but never finished it because I ran out of yarn. So that's another possibility. A lot of people made this collar in all different ways, and there are free ones and there are ones you can pay for, so I'm not going to bother writing this one up. You guys can go look for another one. Okay? So that's my story of my Wednesday Addams outfit that I wanted to use for Halloween, but didn't really feel up to it yesterday. So we're going to make this short and sweet today because I am still in recuperation, and this is a very nice chair to sit in. So I'm not in any discomfort. Well, I'm not in a lot of discomfort. So it's okay if we talk for a little while, but not for too much. So what time do I have on there?
It says 6 minutes and 19 seconds.
Okay. I got new glasses before. I actually got them before I went on an Iceland trip, but they didn't get finished in time Well, they got finished the day before we were going to leave, and I didn't have time.
With the red glasses on, you kind of look like Christina Ricci.
I kind of look like Christina Ricci. Yeah, I get that from the movie, like a combination of her trying to be Wednesday.
She probably juiced herself.
So are we okay?
Yeah.
You want to talk about what you're doing?
This year, what I wanted to do was a Halloween Barbie. So I had my bat skirt that I always like to use for Halloween. I had it pressed, and I was going to wear that Love Magic sweater with it. And I was going to use my black heels and a cutesy witch hat because, you know, Barbie was always stylish. So that was my idea of what I was going to be. It didn't happen, obviously, because Puerto Rico is still very, very hot, and I was not bringing that sweater.
So before we parted ways, before my surgery, and I was working on a hexagon cardigan. And I did finish that.
I got it.
Oh, maybe you can put it on.
Pockets.
Maybe you could stand up and put it on. Step back.
Yeah.
So you can see the different elements. For the most part, I started out using the Make and Do Campfire Cardigan pattern, but she uses colors, and I was just using, what is this? Red Heart? Is this Red Heart?
Yes.
But it's their pooling. I know it's a Macaw color. It's Super Saver. And so when it pulls, give us a look at the back again. And so, I don't know how far I was along, I can't remember, but these Granny Squares Elizabeth had made and left around here, and I found them, so I decided to incorporate them into the back because they gave it like a burst of color. So I did that, and then so what you do here, if you lift up your hand, lift up an arm and go like here. Each side of these is a hexagon. And then you join the hexagons, and I joined it with this column of granny squares. And then you can see here, put it to the side. Down maybe? I'm just no, it just down is okay. I just want them to be able to see where the hexagon end, the length of the sleeve that I had, and then here I went around and around and around. And then I did pockets separately, added them, and I even lined them so that nothing would fall out of them. And that is not on the Make and Do. I didn't do ribbing here. I just did single crochet around.
Yeah, there's no cuffs.
There's an edging, but not a cuff. And then in the Campfire Cardigan, they have a hat. And so I wanted to use up all of this yarn that I had in my stash for ages, and I made the hoodie. Because I figured if I took it to the hospital, you have to like lower down yourself a bit. There you go. Because I figured if I went to the hospital and I got cold, that could be okay.
Yeah, I always find that when it's cold, I feel it here. I feel the heat leaving my body. This is a really cool... Oh, you also did crab stitch border?
Yeah, I did crab stitch around the front because you guys know that I'm a sucker for crab stitch.
But this is a really nice cardigan. It's got enough different elements to it that you could like probably do a blog post on your edits. I think it's really nice. No wonder my sister was like, can I have one of those?
So yeah, there are a lot of versions of that out there. So it's been a couple of months, but I can't say that I've been crazy crocheting because while I was at the hospital, I didn't crochet at all. I just couldn't concentrate.
I mean,
a lot of medication, a lot of interruptions, a lot of trouble sleeping, a lot of irritability and restlessness. So in the topic of vests and iterations, episode 122 from 2002 of Sandra of Cherry Heart, she did a... Oh! Look at that! I didn't remember. She did a small... This why I didn't see. Yeah, it's a blog post, so She did a small checkered. Something that I would never do.
Well, she does.
So if you're into granny squares and joining granny squares and all that, that's another option. Well, I'm actually not going to keep going because I'm going to call it an end to this episode. I didn't expect to be here, so I hope you're as happy as I am to haven't been able to complete this. And I won't make any promises. Things might change in the future and I might come back or I might not. But just to let you know that I am well, that I am on the mend, that I don't have all of the information about how this is going to end for me, but I will have it at some point. And maybe I'll come back and share again. So, in the meantime, I hope your Halloween celebrations went well and that you are looking forward to the end of year celebrations.
I want a refund on the past 3 years, so.
Well, when you are this close to not knowing how much more time you're going to, well, we never know how much more time we have, but it just seems like more threatening when you're in this type of situation and you decide, you know, I have to kind of like enjoy more all my time. And so you don't ask for refunds. You just ask for a little bit more time to do what I think I would like to do, to be around the people I love and to share my crafting with whoever will listen to me. So, until we meet again, you guys take special care of yourself. There's one thing that I learned from this is that we can't put off all of our appointments, right? If you need a yearly checkup with your maybe general practitioner where he can do all the blood tests and stuff to make sure that you're doing okay. And then you need your visits with those particular medics that attend to your particular situations, right? Cardiologist or gynecologist or oncologist or whoever it is, and don't put those things off and just, they're a pain, but do them just to, you know, if you catch things in time, sometimes you can get a little extra time. So nobody's fault if you don't catch it in time. I'm not putting any blame here, as I didn't allow anybody to put blame on me because it just made it all harder. We just need to accept the consequences of our actions. But if you are up for a checkup, go and get it. And you never know if you have something that needs to be taken care of, and that if you do it, it will give you a little bit more time to spend with your loved ones. And we all cherish that. So, until we meet again, keep yourself safe, keep yourself happy, and if you can, keep crafting. Bye for now. Yay! Go, Lucas, go! Lucas! Whoa! Whoa! Yay, Lucas! Good job! Go again, Lucas! Do it again, go again! Go again, Lucas! No, not that way, the other way. Careful.